What is up, guys? Randomonium here. This is your Week 7 Fantasy LCS analysis and prediction video. In this video, I'm going to break down all the matchups for NA and EU LCS. I will be discussing the results from previous weeks, so if you don't want those results spoiled, this is your spoiler warning. But we'll immediately get into the tier list, which is kind of a TLDR for people who are interested. So this week, we're mainly looking at Unicorns of Love is near the top, G2, Echo Fox, Fnatic, Cloud9, TSM, those kind of people are near the top of the list. Really looking at the teams is mainly Unicorns of Love, G2, TSM, Fnatic, Cloud9, Echo Fox, Team Liquid, and Clutch are kind of your above average teams. Top lane, Wonder, Huni, Haunter, Licorice, White Knight, Solo, Alfari, and Soaz are your above average top laners. In the jungle, Cold, Yanko, Stardock, Broxus, Venskaren, Mike Young, Xmithy, and Lyra for your above-average junglers. Mid lane, Perks, Bjergsen, Phoenix, Exiled, Febin, Jensen, Caps, and Pobelter for your above-average mid laners. Bot lane, Samex, Altec, Reckles, Jarnan, Sven, Hansama, and Apollo for your above-average bot laners. And for supports, Totoro, Adrian, Hakuo, Wadid, Smoothie, Mithy, Hillisang, and Ollie for your above-average supports. So this is kind of the TLDR, and now we'll kind of go down through and break down exactly why these people are in the order that they are. All right, so let's look at the matchups. So for NA actually feels like it's pretty well tiered. You got kind of the Echo Fox, like the top 5 are kind of set, it feels like, and the bottom 5 are kind of set. Top 5, it's looking like Echo Fox, Cloud9, Team Liquid, Clutch, and TSM are kind of your top 5, and then your bottom 5 are 100 Thieves, FlyQuest, Optic, Guardians, and CLG. I think that 100 Thieves is kind of knocking on the door to get into that top 5 spot, but right now they're not there yet. But in general, I feel like there's a pretty good tier list for NA. EU is a complete cluster. It's really, you got Fnatic and G2 at the top, and then after that, it's anybody's best guess. Like on a given day, any one of the bottom 8 teams can beat each other, and we've been seeing this over and over again. So you're seeing these huge changes in my tier list just because it really depends on who shows up that given week. I do feel like that Unicorns of Love is really surging. I feel like H2K is performing a lot better than they were. Giants had an off week, but they came back last week, so they're kind of surging as well. Splice is doing all right. I feel like the teams that are kind of falling a bit are Misfits, Vitality, Schalke, Roccat. Those are the kind of teams that I feel like are losing steam as the season progresses. It's just a question of if they can hold on long enough to actually still make playoffs. So as far as people that are going to have good weeks this week, I'm predicting Cloud9 will have a good week, Echo Fox will have a good week, Team Liquid will have a good week, Fnatic and G2 will obviously have good weeks. Then you're looking at TSM, Clutch, and Unicorns of Love as a little bit of a higher risk, but I am predicting them to win both of their games this week. Then you're looking kind of the average people, or like your H2Ks, your Vitalities, your Giants, your Splices, those type of people. And then kind of the below average, you're looking at 100 Thieves, Optic, FlyQuest, Misfits, Schalke, Roccat, and then kind of near the bottom, CLG and Guardians. Misfits is kind of a weird one. They could be all over the map. Right now, I feel like H2K has been more consistent than them, so I'm actually giving H2K a slight edge in that matchup. But Misfits could definitely upset H2K, and they could definitely upset Fnatic. So I've kind of taken that into account with their stats. So just keep that in mind. So let's look at the graphs on how this breaks down. So for team points, you're seeing, Unicorns of Love is kind of your high risk, your super ultra high risk, high reward team this week. You got a lot of kind of top tier teams that are kind of in the middle as far as their variability, but still high on the points. G2, TSM, Fnatic, Team Liquid, Echo Fox, Cloud9. Clutch is looking like they're going to have a very good week this week, so they're kind of up there. Misfits and 100 Thieves are kind of in the middle of the pack. And then off to the sides, we've got Vitality and HGK, which are a little bit lower risk, expecting them to win one game this week. And then for the rest of the teams, you can definitely play these people, but I definitely think they're suboptimal choices compared to the ones that are above the diagonal line. All right, top lane, your kind of big point scorers in top lane right now are Wonder and Huni. So if you got one of those two, then you're golden. I do predict that Haunter's going to have a good week this week. He's been putting up decent points, and last week TSM really went on fire. White Knight might be a person that you can pick up this week if you don't have good top laners. Solo's another person that you might be able to pick up if you don't have a good starter this week. Licorice, I feel like he's going to bounce back. So as an impactor, kind of, those middle of the road kind of carries. Ruin's another possibility. Cabo Shard has been a little bit hit or miss on fantasy points, but I think that they'll go 1-1 this week, so it should be decent fantasy points. And then you get the rest of the people that are kind of more high risk, high rewards. We got Alfari out here. He's very high risk. Could be one of the top point scorers, or could be, they could absolutely tank, like they did in one of the previous weeks. But most of these people I'd tend to avoid unless you need to start them. Jungle, Cold, Yankos, those are kind of your big guys. Dardox up here, high risk, high reward. Other people that I definitely would consider would be Broxek, Smithy, Svenskeren if you've got them. And you're starting to see a lot of people around the diagonal line. Joko, Santorin, Gilius, kind of lower risk, but also lower reward. Your higher risk, higher reward people are Max, Lord Lyra, and Mike Young. And then you can see the rest towards the bottom. Those are the people that I would probably try to avoid this week. Mid lane, Exile, Fevin, Phoenix are kind of your high risk, high reward people this week. Perks and Bjergsen are obviously just solid picks that you can pick up. Same with Jensen, Pobelter, Caps. All will be solid picks this week. Kind of a little bit more lower risk, Betsy and Jizuki, but you won't get as many fancy points from them. They're kind of a little bit of a lower tier as far as average points are concerned. Then you kind of the rest of your middle of the pack people, Senkunks, Cadril. Cadril's not there. That's Selfie now. Power of Evil, those type of people. I tend to avoid the people who are below the halfway point on that curve. But yeah, if you can, try to stick to the people that are in kind of as far away from the curve as possible. Bot lane, we got Samex, Altec, kind of your high risk, high reward carriers. I've also got Sven here. He hasn't been performing as well as, say, like Bjergsen or Haunter have been on TSM. So he's still a good pickup. Not as good as, say, like Bjergsen in a flex role. Reckles, Hajarnen, definitely also very solid choices this week. Not too high risk as well. You got Apollo, Hansama. Cody Sun has been putting up a lot of fantasy points. And 100 Thieves is looking pretty decent. Double Lift has not been putting up as many points as some of his other people on Team Liquid. Then you've also got kind of these off picks that you can go for. You can go for Sheriff. You could go for Steelback. Sneaky obviously is going to be picked up a lot, so you probably won't get him, but he's a good starter. And then you could even start something like Mini Tropax or Arrow if you need to. But I'd definitely try to stay away from the people down here. They're just a little bit too high risk for not enough reward. And then for support, Adrian, Hakuo, Totoro. Totoro's been putting up a ton of fantasy points as a support these past couple weeks. Kind of your kind of more middle risk, middle reward. Wadid, Hillsang, Ollie, Smoothie. You can even lump Mithy or Mickey into those that group. I'd probably stay away from Jack Troll and Sproudle. They haven't been putting up as many fantasy points as some of the carries. You could potentially go for Takamas, but even that's risky. I would try to stay towards this grouping of supports this week. A lot of them are just a little bit too high risk, not enough reward to really justify picking up. So that's basically it. That's the tier list. I know this is quick. I tried to cut it down as far as time is concerned, so you guys can just get you guys out right away. Yeah, really, Unicorns of Love looking very strong. TSM looks like they finally come alive. G2 still a solid team. I do think Fnatic's better than them, but G2 still a solid team. Should have a good week. Same with Fnatic, obviously. Cloud9, Echo Fox should have good weeks. You're looking at Clutch should be a surprise pick. Unicorns of Love should be a surprise pick that I talked about before. Potentially Giants or H2K. They're more high risk, but they could be somebody that you gamble on if you need to. But really, yeah, I'd say like Unicorns of Love and Clutch would be your best bet if any of those players are available, as far as if you're trying to shore up some weaknesses on your team. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask. I hope you guys all have a fantastic day. This is Randomonium signing off.